from Jackson to come and visit you. But I haven't talked to you. But so back in the day, we didn't have telephones and stuff. So I come over to that area and notice that it's a little bit different. Like, wow. Well, let me see if I can find my family. So I'm going to sit down and eat at a restaurant. Come to find out that whole area was already taken over without me even knowing that it was a whole little WAR that happened over there. So that's how you hear about the burning of the White Tea House of 1812. The reason why they call it the White Tea House is because they painted it white to cover up the burn marks.
Wow.
So that's why our people came up with maps and stuff to say, hey, don't go here. Mm-hmm. This is like a red zone. They have sundown towns still to this day. They have ghost towns still to this day.
Yeah, I agree. I'm loving your insight, and I love that you were able to break it down in a way where it can.
If she go all the way back to that same series, you still haven't. If she do that,
you know what I mean? Where you have indigenous people that look this way, and you have indigenous people that look that way. You know what I mean? I can understand where that dynamic comes from, where people go, oh, our phenotype. I get it now, but I also feel like there's still like this gap of history that's missing. Yes. That I'm still trying to kind of put it together. But I'm happy that you still acknowledge the fact that there was still a slave trade. You know what I mean? Yes. I think when people completely dismantle that and just say it was just one, I think that's where it throws everything off. You know what I mean? Because I can accept that indigenous people were
what is my friends going to think about me this week?
I can accept that, right? Because what we know about the earth, we know indigenous people are people of color. They're this and this. There's different types of way indigenous people look, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what was throwing me off was people completely saying like, Africans didn't come here by slave trade. Mm-hmm. We are completely indigenous. And then what happens from history through there? Did you just be enslaved and then was enslaved and Civil War came about? I think that was the part where it was just like a big gap missing. Yeah. But for like to acknowledge, like, okay, yes, there was Native Americans that we do know of and we've been learning about. Then there is the Black indigenous people that phenotypically resemble you and I, and then there's also the African slave trade on top of that. I think it makes it a lot more easier and gives a lot more room for more logical explanations for things to occur.
Yes, and think about it. A lot of African people were literally from the west coast of America that they never talk about. They never talk about Washington,
I don't ever really hear that.
Idaho, Montana, South North Dakota. They never talk about what the heck happened over there. Ever. They don't never talk
That's another conversation we got to have.
Right, and then you don't never hear about the South Americans speaking out about this. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like every time you look at maps, they never tell you what happened in Greenland. They never tell you what happened in Canada. None of it. So just if we all understand that we have all been lied to, the way so in order to fit a person's narrative, they have to try to make it make sense, right?
Yeah.
To say that, oh, we came over here and there wasn't nobody, people of color here. I've looked at the temperature at that time of the so-called Bering Strait thing was 10 degrees. I've been in Minnesota for 42 years, okay? And it's gotten to 60 below. Not taking nothing away. All I know is that we were renamed so many times. These colonizers who did this to us was renamed multiple times. The Africans were renamed multiple times. These land masses were renamed multiple times. They did all of this to confuse. And so, like, if we look through history, we'll just give up and be like, forget it. This is confusing. I don't even want to do it. And the fact that people still owe student loans and paid all this money and wasted time when they could have been having fun in school and been lied to, I wouldn't want to know either. Yeah. Like, fuck it. Like, I done spent too much time going for my doctrine. I don't care about none of this. It's what's going on right now, and that's what's more important. That's what is more important, is that it's real life history going on right now, where and the CP, as people done lost so many, and people who came through the border, they can't find their babies, and the stuff that goes on. Like, a lot of those Native people, like a lot of their babies and stuff came up gone too. So just imagine the fact that we all are getting used by a very small group who benefit pretty much, and other little small corporations that come around and act like they're us and want to keep the divide going. They want to go, oh, these people don't like you, and they're trying to erase natives and this and that. Like, man,
As soon as she dropped down, she won't go right back into that narrative because she finds comfort in that narrative. I can feel it. It's going. It's been changing each time though. Her responses and her arrogance has been changing each time, and her acceptance has been
This
changing.
is a personal question, right? Because I know it's probably hard to have the actual facts
Maybe
of it,
try to
right?
do some research
So
if
now
she
that we
hasn't
established
already.
what we established,
She's definitely gonna be doing some research today.
just based off like your own knowledge and your own life in America and living American African American culture that we're living in. Based off that, what percentage do you think the African Americans today are have lineage from the African slave trade, and then what percentage do you think have the
I think
lineage
it's like
from
less than
the
20%.
indigenous black natives? Like which percentage do you think? Do you think it's like majority of them came from like the indigenous, and then you had a couple of them that came during slave trade? Do you think majority of them came during slave trade, and then you had a couple of them that had that lineage of indigenous, or do you think it was 50-50 with this?
So what the thing of it is with that is when I because I'm gonna send you information and stuff. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And so when you look into the fact that they made slavery look like it was this big, huge thing that a lot of the boats, because there were boats, right, that came through were mostly about products. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Shipping products. I have that document. I'm going to send it to you. I have the videos and stuff like that too that shows you that it was mostly indigenous servitude, meaning that a lot of the products like cotton, corn, stuff like that were being traded back and forth. Like, for instance, we are people who, okay, there's classes. If you know how to put up drywall, or if you're good at building pyramids or big constructions, you will say, hey, I'll go down to, South America to go build this. Or I'll go to Mexico to do this. You get what I'm saying? Or I'll go over Africa to do this. That's just what we do. If you are actually good at drawing and painting and stuff, you will be into the hieroglyphics and stuff like that. If you're good at cultivating the land, you could be sent over here, like if it was a major flood or something, and you're trying to help get back the crops and stuff, you will go help them people because we are people who help people. We help our people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when you look into a lot of the people that was being traded back and forth, like at the masses, you will understand that a lot of that happened later on. Not saying that it didn't happen, but the major migrations when it comes to people happen later on. When you understand how they started to create.
I agree. Because even when they tell us when Africans first touched land on American soil in 1619, they said it was only a small amount.
Africans, when you talk about dark complected Africans, they were already over here and already in Central America and already in South America. We've been doing this before colonizations.
I ain't
You
even
get
get
what
to
I'm
drop
saying?
that on them.
I get what you're saying.
You
But
know,
at the same time, with those Africans that were already here, I'm saying that in 1619 they said that they went and got more Africans from the coast of Africa
those
from
those Africans, those Africans were Afrikaners. When they
Afrikaners.
of a
Okay,
type of complexion, because the real
right.
definition
But
of
what we know today as modern day Africans, but back then Afrikaners, right? So they
Africans
came
is
over,
a
and that
space.
was a small number, right? So it makes sense what you're saying. Like it didn't come until later that the mass,
Yes,
like, of the mass movement
yes.
of
When they started making
the
steamboats and
Afrikaners,
stuff,
right?
like more steel ships and stuff.
But I also read in the article though, right? They said that the colonizers could not enslave the indigenous people because the indigenous people were so strong in their ways and they knew
Yeah,
the land so well that it was impossible to
so they
enslave
had to
them.
get control of the mind.
Okay.
Because when you enslave, see, you see how they use that term, enslave.
Uh-huh.
Enslave means like enslave that people on their own land. So
Right.
it's hard to enslave us. It was hard to enslave Africans back then because Africans weren't going and we wasn't.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I
Until
get what
they
you're
say,
saying.
okay, well, shoot, we got a great opportunity over here for you. We got this new big old ship, you know what I'm saying, that actually runs off of coal. When you
Right.
come over here, and that's how when you look into history and stuff and the records and stuff, you will see that that's how when it comes to the people, that's when you see the majority of us being shipped and back and forth or whatever like that. You see people being shipped in though. Do you get what I'm saying? And then the Afrikaners and stuff that came little bit by little bit, and they started coming more and more when it got to the years later on. Because I had the slave voyages and all of that from the 1600s. Do you get what I'm saying? And I have the
Yeah.
documents from 1492. So
Yeah.
it's just that they, okay, if I, okay, you know, like how if you ever been to church, right?
Uh huh.
And you know they say go to Matthew chapter this verse this, and then
Yeah.
they have you go to Revelations this and that. No, can we just read Matthew and then read the next? You know what I'm saying? Like why they don't go on the line because they
Right.
try to fit their narrative.
The story.
Man, these people do. That's why I don't want anybody on this live or even you guys to believe nothing that I have to say. I want to be able to install into my people that I want you to do your own due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Do your own learning. We need to get uncomfortable with allowing people to try to teach us anything unless it's something to do with a trade. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to stop allowing people to want to farm our crops. All the stuff that they're putting into it. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop being comfortable with these other people trying to teach our kids our history. That's where, you know what I'm saying? And then to understand that these people don't even have the right to even police us. Do you get what I mean?
That part. And the fact that we are actually their property with our social security cards and everything else.
Yeah.
Somebody comments asked me, Lynn, do you have a different perspective? I would say that my perspective has shifted to understand a little bit more. Like I can understand where people are coming from when they say, like I said earlier, like there was the Native Americans that we all grew up learning about and knew, and then there's the indigenous people that had that phenotypical features that me and you have, right? Where we can go, oh, are they black or oh, are they one of us, right? So I can acknowledge that because I know indigenous people had darker skin complexions. I know indigenous people had different hair types and all these other things. So it's easily, I can easily believe that there was indigenous people that were, I don't know what to call them because the only term that we have is like black, right? So really the word
Original,
I
urban,
don't really know
brown even.